from the AP. Supreme Court backs law banning TikTok if it's not sold by its Chinese parent company. This goes hard, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't just the Supreme Court backing the divestment bill, which effectively bans TikTok. It was 9-0. Every justice agreed. Let me read this. We got this post from Russell T. Warren. He says, I read the legal opinion. Here's what you should know. TikTok lost almost every single argument it made. It's a 9-0 ruling. Wow. Sending a resounding message. TikTok's data collection practices are insane. The app gathers data that other apps normally consider off limits, including the content of users' private messages and the full contents of a user's device contacts. I've also heard this, I don't know if it's true, that it collects the private messages of other apps. Is that, have you guys heard that?
I've heard that, but
it's like
it collects everything.
It's the most invasive by far.
They say,
if you read the terms of service, it's actually very scary.
I'll try and pull that up in a second.
Yeah.
They say it's the last part that concerns SCOTUS the most. If you have an email contact who has a TikTok account, China has your name, email, and possibly your phone number, photo, and more. Chinese law requires its social media companies, including TikTok and ByteDance, to assist or cooperate with the Chinese government's intelligence work and to ensure that Chinese government has the power to access and control private data.
And so to that point, the fact that it's going after people that don't have TikTok, right? So if you have the email address of if someone that has a TikTok account has your email address, that means they likely have all of your information as well. That's probably a significant issue for the Supreme Court. It's like, 'cause if you want to say, I don't want a TikTok, I don't want to have TikTok, I don't download it on my phone, that's supposed to insulate you from being collected by the...
I'm going to add on to that in a second. Let me read the last 2 points. They say, sure. Congress and the FBI worry that this info and more could be used for espionage or to compile blackmail dossiers on elected officials or government employees. All 9 SCOTUS justices agree that the need to prevent espionage overrules any First Amendment concerns.
Yep.
So, and then he says you should stop watching those stupid dancing videos months ago. Facebook has something called shadow profiles. Do you guys know what this is? Do you ever hear this?
No, shadow profiles, no.
So let's say your mom never signs up for Facebook. She has what's called a Facebook shadow profile. How it works is, let's not use you as an example. Let's use a hypothetical mom. She has 3 kids, and she has Tom, Dick, and Harry. She's never signed up for Facebook. Tom, Dick, and Harry each have in their phone book mom, mom, and mom. And the phone number is 555-1234. When they log into Facebook Messenger, it says, would you like to sync your contacts?
Yes.
Facebook then gets a list of your contacts, including mom, 555-1234. Facebook now knows Tom, Dick, and Harry are brothers. Here's where it gets better. A lawn a groundskeeper has Janet, your mom, the woman's name, in the phone book 555-1234. Facebook now knows Janet has 3 sons, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Here's where she lives. Here's when she gets her lawn mowed, and they can track where she is, what she does, based on the data of other people. TikTok does the same thing. The only difference is that it's controlled by China.
Yeah.
This is where things get pretty crazy, but I can't believe I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're standing up, please sit down. Jimmy Kimmel broke this down beautifully with an excellent point. But hey, a broken clock, right? Here's what Jimmy Kimmel had to say.
And they're right, it's not an app for teenagers, just like crop tops are great shirts for old fat guys. And for TikTok is for everyone. The problem with TikTok is it's totally controlled by the Chinese government. I heard a good explanation of why there's a problem, because I wasn't sure why exactly it was a problem. Why the reason why the Chinese having our kids' personal information is a threat is because kids aren't kids forever. They grow up and get jobs, and when they do, the Chinese government will have all the passwords they use. They'll have everything they posted, their financial information in a lot of cases, messages, you name it, they will have it, which isn't so much of a problem if they grow up to work at like Petco. But some teenagers grow up and become nuclear physicists, or they join the military or the State Department. Every single person in the Army and the State Department used to be a teenager. I don't know if you knew that. And in the future, the Chinese government will have tons of their data to blackmail them with. And that's why it's a national security threat when your nephew films himself eating corn on the cob off a Makita drill bit.
Which someone did, and like it hurt their teeth. But the interesting thing is, he's oversimplified it quite a bit, but that is a big issue. And then as it pertains to the law, I do want to read this from OSINT Defender. If TikTok is at all accessible after Sunday, it will truly prove just how useless our federal government really is. What is the point of declaring something a national security threat and pushing to ban it only to totally change up days before the ban goes into effect? I completely agree.
Yeah. TikTok, man. They've been talking about this for years, that they were going to get rid of it because of it being.
Well, let's start here.
Go ahead.
Do you guys think TikTok should be banned?
Yes. I mean, I've made this point before the past couple nights, and in my we had a whole big episode where Tim and one of our guests was talking about it, and there was the free speech or the morality argument. For me, it's just a matter of, like Jimmy Kimmel saying, it's just a matter of national security. So, like, if all of this information is being collected by the Chinese Communist Party, that is a bad thing for the United States national security. That's all there is to it. And people can say, well, Facebook grabs this and, X grabs that and yada, yada, yada. That doesn't make it good or right or okay. And I would argue, and honestly, you're not going to make me think anything different. It's worse if China's doing it. It's bad when Facebook does it. It's bad if other apps are doing it. It's worse if a foreign adversary is doing it.
And just to spell out why it's worse if a foreign adversary does it as opposed to a company in America, we could FOIA request companies in America. We could bring lawsuits to them. And TikTok answers to nobody. Well, actually, they answer to somebody, the CCP. So that's the difference between the two. And I'm obviously for the banning as well.
We've seen how the government colludes with these big tech platforms, and it's bad. But I got to be honest, guys. In the United States, if the federal government had compromising information that was stolen from your social media and released it, that would be a major scandal that could result in serious political consequences. If China has compromising information from your direct messages and releases it, nothing. Good luck. Have fun. And then what happens? I'll tell you, man, there are these stories. There was one story where a kid got catfished, like teenager. And the catfisher was like, send me compromising images, right? This happens quite a bit. Then they blackmail the kid saying, we're going to upload this publicly and share it with all of your friends in school unless you give us money or do this thing. And this one kid committed suicide because of it. These people probably don't even live in the United States. What happens when China contacts some dude who's 20, not even a nuclear physicist, an intern working for a member of Congress, and they get an email, it's encrypted, and it says, you are going to download the hard drive in your office and click this link and click this button, which will send all of the data to this server. Otherwise, we're publishing, and then it posts a photo, posts a video, it posts this person's having an affair, whatever. Then what do? Because that person either has to go public with that information, go to the police, or they're be blackmailed and give up compromising information on the U.S. government or our politicians.
Well, yeah, but we might get the Epstein list.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like strategy of intel agencies. I mean, look, I'm indifferent with TikTok. Right. I've been banned a million times. It's super woke. It's annoying. It is what it is. I do think that there's a national security threat, especially with the amount of information it collects on there. Can absolutely put a lot of people in compromising situations. But let's be honest here. We know why TikTok is getting banned. It's because of Israel. It's not because of China. We've been talking about getting rid of it for China reasons for years, but it wasn't until the ADL made us think about it that they said we're going to get rid of TikTok. So
I would say I agree. I do have another story that I want to pull up in a second.
Sure.
But it is interesting how Democrats only recently got on board. But before we get into that, and I want to make sure everyone knows, like, put a pin in that one because we're going to jump to it in literally 1 minute.
Whenever you're ready.
It is strange that we went from Trump says let's ban it, Democrats say no. Democrats and Republicans then agreed let's ban it. And now Donald Trump is saying don't ban it. And what we heard the other day is that there are prominent Trump-supporting conservatives who are now lobbying on behalf of TikTok in the United States. My view of this is that proves it. Like, I'm sorry. This is a Chinese-owned company, and you have people publicly defending the rights of China to operate mass media in the United States. And that, to me, is absolutely insane. And then guess what? These people are either getting paid by lobbying firms on behalf of TikTok. They have large followings on TikTok. They have interests to protect the platform. And then they defend, once again, a foreign adversary's interest in America over American interests. And to me, that's nuts.
They sent spy balloons for months all across the country, and there was no retribution for that whatsoever. That just happened. And we're like, yeah, they're allowed to spy on us. I'm not surprised this thing's been allowed to exist as long as it has.
Yeah.
It should clearly be considered an espionage tool. Like, you can have your opinion about it. I know there are people that make money on it. Look, there is a legitimate complaint about things like Facebook and the way that they treat their users. Things like Instagram. Meta is one of the most garbage companies.
It's the worst.
They're absolutely atrocious. They treat their users like absolute trash. The thing that people love about TikTok is the way that the algorithm spreads their content, and the fact that TikTok lays it out right in front of you. If you want to gain followers, do these things. If Instagram would do that, Instagram would fill the role that TikTok has instantly. It would take 6 months if Instagram just said, look, we know that you guys wanted, that the American people really like TikTok. So what we're doing is we're going to change the way that our algorithm works. So that way we're going to help you guys reach other people. We're going to help you guys.
Well, if you look at all the updates for Instagram, it's been directly to compete with TikTok over the past 4 to 5 years.
They haven't done the important thing, which is help people reach other users.
Yeah.
They
try to compete.
I very rarely use my Instagram page. I think I have like 20,000 users or whatever. And I got a message from Instagram the other day. One of the little posts that said, "What your post reached 330 people that are not in your network. That's the most in blah blah blah." It's like, what the F do I care? 330 people? Why am I going to be on your stupid platform? I post something on X, and if it's a good post, it'll reach multiple million people.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a ridiculous thing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.